Hey there, Chris with Patch. I'm here with Chief Deputy Mark Warden. We're just talking about the arrest made in the bomb threats.
Absolutely.
So tell me about it. What happened?
Well, I think, as everybody is aware, May 6th we started receiving bomb threats throughout the, well, I'm going to say throughout the county. It was isolated first to Waterford High School, and that was on May 6th early in the morning. Then I'm going to fast forward, try to wrap all of them up. From May 6th until the 11th, we received 13. And that was from Waterford High School, Waterford Elementary, Fort Fry Beverly Elementary.
Started seeing Marietta Middle and St.
Marietta
Mary's.
Middle, St. Mary's Catholic, Belpre.
Right. Elementary schools.
Elementary school. So also understand that on the 11th, which was yesterday, we received 6 in the county all at the same time.
Wow.
So
was this like a person actually calling, or was it a robotic voice?
oh no, it was a person.
It was an actual person.
It was an individual.
Okay.
It was an individual on the line saying that there's a bomb threat. So, of course, when that happens, that disrupts the school.
Oh yeah.
They have to go through their protocols on evacuation, and then that ripple effect. A bomb threat's a bomb threat.
Yeah.
But when you have 13, that ripple effect that ripples through the community.
Sure.
The resources that are dumped into that.
You have to clear each one, right?
Yeah,
Bomb dogs
right,
and whatnot.
Right. And what's from an administrator standpoint, what's really step back and you're very proud of the individuals that the protocols weren't diminished in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
They were to an extent based off of the once we started getting into the investigation, we started to narrow down some stuff. We started doing some lock-in type lock-in events, but the protocol pretty much bomb threats called in, schools evacuated, bomb dogs come up, deputies and the dogs go conduct the search of the facility, and some of these facilities are quite large. And you take Warren High School for an example, that's quite large.
Yeah.
So we utilized, I think it was 5 bomb dogs during that time frame. 1 of ours, Largo, 2 from OU, 1 from Stark County, and 1 from Franklin County. Now, what was really impressive in this whole endeavor was the cooperation that we received from everybody.
You mean like other departments?
Other departments bending over backwards. To give you an example, we had an investigator with the Department of Corrections actually being almost like a liaison for us, reaching out to assist us in obtaining bomb dogs.
Right.
Outside of our region. Oh yes, super.
I mean, that's the main way you clear a place, right? Is the bomb dogs.
Well, I mean that's one way of doing
right.
it. You can certainly also search and conduct a search.
But they're very important.
A dog can probably maybe a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And then once the detectives started narrowing down the investigation on how who was responsible.
Yeah, can I ask how that happened? How'd you guys start to narrow down suspects or zero in on your suspects?
So what they did was they identified a social media platform
Okay.
that this individual is using as an app.
Do you know what it?
I don't want to elaborate what the app is because I just don't think it's.
You don't want other people.
I just don't want other people utilizing it.
Sure.
To be quite honest with you, they worked with a company.
But can you just tell me what kind of app it is?
It was a texting app type of app.
And it switches your phone number.
Yes.
Okay.
Rolls over and all that stuff. So they were able to identify an IP address. Based off of that, we were able to conduct search warrants. And just to give you an idea of the complexity of it, that portal with all them, you just imagine how many numbers are going through that.
Right.
So
they see something about Pennsylvania.
So what they did was they were able to identify a location in Pennsylvania that was connected to a phone number attached to this IP address.
Okay.
So they went up the night before. Detectives went up the night before, spent the night up at Minersville, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And worked hand in hand with the Minersville Police Department and also the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office.
Is that like where the server was, where it was going through?
It was a residence.
It was a residence.
So the residence, they were able to execute the search warrant on the residence. And at the same time, a lot of information is coming in from this company that's working with us. Based off the search warrants.
Oh, with search warrants.
With the search warrants.
Yes.
And we were identifying a location in Georgia. Based off the interviews of the search warrant up in Pennsylvania, they linked us to the individual in Georgia.
So that's confusing, the part about Pennsylvania. That's
Okay.
that's what's confusing most people I've talked to. They
Okay.
have no idea what that is.
All right, so just look at it this way. We believe that's the suspect's home
Okay.
area,
All right.
and then he moved to the Georgia area.
Okay, but he was making bomb threats from the Pennsylvania?
Georgia, from Georgia.
Oh, he's making it from Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like your phone. You know, if I do let's say I do a search warrant on your phone,
Yeah.
and let's say that you lived at one point in time in Indiana.
It would have been, the IP address would have been linked to the Indiana address as well.
You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying.
So that was his home address, but he since had moved to Georgia.
Okay, so this IP address was linked to two addresses,
Yeah.
and you were able to, so you searched the
Yeah.
Pennsylvania one first, then the
IP
Georgia
address
one.
was linked to one address, but the phone was connected to him.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
I
So long story short, we were able to contact McDuffie County Sheriff's Office in Georgia and made contact with them, and they sent a deputy out, made contact with the individual. Fast forward a little while there, they collected some evidence down there,
Uh-huh.
and also he confessed
He
to the bomb
confessed.
threat.
Okay. Can you give me a little bit more about the confession? Because I've heard rumors about maybe a girlfriend or something
Well,
like that.
there was a statement made that he was dating a young lady, and I believe this might be an internet type of relationship.
Yeah.
Again, this is early still in the investigation. We're still
Right.
looking into
So
some
it could
stuff.
be hearsay.
It could be, and it could be, could be. I think they were in contact with each other.
Okay.
So I just don't know the relationships. What I'm saying, this
Gotcha.
is what he had told somebody down there.
Okay.
And that he did it to keep her out of school. Now,
But then what about all the other
I
schools?
find that I just don't believe that's the full motive.
Yeah.
You know, because on that same day of the 11th, Athens County had one. I think Noble County had one. Morgan County had one. I think Marysville had one.
Yeah.
And also Upper Arlington had one. So
Right. Yeah.
go figure.
Yeah.
So I when you sit back and look at this, that the problems that it caused throughout the community was absolutely, I've talked to some families who were very stressed, kept their kids out of school.
Yeah.
The school administrators that in all these schools did an excellent job in regards to following their safety plan protocol,
Uh-huh.
and working hand in hand with us, to the first responders that showed up with squads to assist, just in case it was the real thing.
Yeah.
And that was the problem throughout the community. That some of the community members, and I talked to some of them, said that, what if this is just a ruse to lessen our protocol, and then that way somebody actually does it.
Right.
So, and that's why I tell you, Chris, that I think I'm so proud of everybody, as well as the sheriff is so proud of
Yeah.
our organization, that the protocols were followed from the first one up to the 13th one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there were some minor adjustments that are based on the complexity of the investigation, and we knew at the 11th or 10th or 11th or 12th one, we had an idea where it was coming from.
Right.
And we knew that the threat wasn't as viable.
Right.
So some of the schools may have not been evacuated. The dogs went in and searched.
Yeah.
Some of the schools were searched the night before. Security kept on them all night.
And then they still got a bomb threat.
So what the guy does is he calls in a bomb threat, and then the school evacuates. Then I think it was on maybe the 10th, he called in at the same school and said the bomb is on the child. So he's changing his
Jesus.
tactics. Oh yeah, so he's changing his tactics. So he was charged with a felony of the second degree, inducing panic, and also a felony of the third degree, terroristic threats.
Yeah.
And that's just for the May 6th incident at Waterford High School.
Right.
Of course, once the detectives complete their investigation, all that information will be forwarded to the prosecutor's office for submission to the grand jury.
Yeah. Okay. So when can it's Mr. Hall, right?
Yep.
Mike-
His name is Jonathan, and I believe, I want to make sure I'm correct here.
Yeah.
I think it's Jonathan Nicholas. It is, I'm sorry, Nicholas John Francis Hall.
So we can expect him to be coming here to Washington County. So
He was arrested in Georgia on our felony warrants. He'll have an extradition hearing down there to waive extradition back to Ohio.
yeah.
Of course, we'll have somebody down there to pick him up, bring him back to answer to the charges here,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll go from there.
Right. And he might be linked to other counties as well, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
So he could probably be facing charges
Oh,
in those
absolutely.
counties.
I'm
as
sure.
well.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So yeah. So he's possibly facing a lot of different jurisdictions.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be different? He could possibly. I mean, what kind of time do you think we could be looking at here? I mean, I know you can't really speculate too much. 'Cause
Well,
you're not the prosecutor.
I mean, when you it's a substantial amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, when you start looking at the felony and second degrees and the F3,
Yeah.
just on one incident at school, and if you would look at charging him with 2 counts of that at every school
Yeah.
and every bomb threat, so just in Washington County alone, you'd have 26 counts.
Right.
So.
And he's 18.
He's 18 years old, so.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and I, you know, there's an old saying in law enforcement that you lift up the rock and you look underneath it to continue to investigate. But I can tell you right now, these investigators, from the first deputy that showed, from the first school administrator that answered the phone call,
Yeah.
to the deputy who showed up, to the detectives that showed up, to their resourcing out to Ohio State Highway Patrol intelligence unit, everybody to the Major Crimes Task Force, everybody working together, Belpre law enforcement, Marietta law enforcement, Beverly law enforcement. I mean, when you put that stuff together and everybody works together, this is the outcome that you could see.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad nobody got hurt, and I guess we're gonna find out more details as the days, in the coming days.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So no bomb threats today.
Fingers crossed.
Yep. So
All right.
it's quiet.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks, Mark.
Hey, thanks a lot, Chris.
I really appreciate it.